Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another episode of the Just Seen podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about time, but not time in the sense of, I guess, the conventional sense. Everybody talks about time, but time is an illusion. It is, it's not real. It's this, but motherfuckers say that shit, but how many people really say why time is not an illusion or why it's, unreal? You dig what I'm saying? One of my travelers, they recommended this episode, just discussing and everything. So of course I want to put my own spin on it, as always, and kind of just what my observation of what time is and the functions of it, because you have like past, present, future, different things like that. But there's elements to it. If you've heard the episode on what is it, the universal laws, the 12 keys to understanding you. I discussed that time is a function of three of those laws coming together, which is the law of vibration, the law of action, and the law of rhythm. When those things come together, they ultimately create the template for time, right? So today we're pretty much going to go a little bit deeper into that, into just the aspect of time. And it's going to be more so showing the power of the past and the present, like things in between, illusions, clocks, all of that good shit. We're just gonna vibe out to that, and I'm gonna give my spiel, my perspective of it, and how time plays a factor in our lives, right? So I don't really have much of an intro for this one. I just really want to get into it. So before we hop into it, be sure to follow me on Instagram _just_seen_. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. My book, So Frail a Reality to Black My Masculinity, So Frail to Toxic Femininity, Hitting It Raw, Living a Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. If you are looking to learn how to trade and invest, you can check out my course, Mastering the Market. If you're looking to transition into the plant-based lifestyle in a lot more detailed way than the book, you can check out the Hitting It Raw program. All of my merch is available too at Just Seen's Merch. And if you would like to just have a conversation, chat with anything, you can check out Chatting with Seen, book a session, have a quick vibe out or a long vibe out, however you choose to go. What else? To all of the people who tip, sponsor, and donate to the podcast, I greatly appreciate it. You are respected, loved, cherished, and appreciated. Thank you so much. To everybody who would like to donate and tip to the sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the description of your podcast. Sponsorship link is there, and Cash App and PayPal are fine also. And lastly, be sure to share and like and rate the podcast on your respective platforms, and spread the word with your friends, because we're growing and we're moving and we're expanding a lot more. So with that being said, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna jump into time, memories, moments, and dreams. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. Let's get into it. So, time, as I said, it is a combination of the 12 universal laws, three of them in particular: vibration, action, and rhythm. When those three laws are in motion, you get time, right? Because time is a function of something repetitive, something that ultimately creates a cycle, and it's how long that thing is going to linger. How long these three factors are going to play into whatever the reality is. How long the vibration, the action, and the rhythm are going to be active creates the time. In my perspective, in my opinion, this ain't law. I mean, Don't think I'm saying that, this is what the reality is. But within the time, within our specific time, we have a starting point, we have an ending point. You know what I mean? We have a starting point and an ending point. The starting point is birth, the ending point is death. You know, everything in between is everything in between is going to be a function of either living or dying. You know, when you're born, either the moment you enter this world, either you're just slowly dying, or you're slowly living until the time is up. And it's a very, very important piece to understand that, because it's all derived as a function of time. You know, and when I say time, what I'm going to be referring to is time as the title says, the memories, the moments, and the dreams. That's really all time is. Time is all about moments. You know, it's all about moments that are created through vibration, action, and rhythm. Right? Now, the duality of the time, I ain't gonna say duality because it's really a three-part piece to it. Dualities too. So the triality, it's not a word, but the triality of time is basically past, present, and future, right? But what are the things that create the past, present, and future? And this is why I'm saying time is a function of the moments, because the present is the moment. That's the present. The present, what represents the present is the moment. Okay? What represents the past is the memory. And what represents the future is the dream. Okay? So dreams and memories are both moments. Dreams are just moments that haven't happened yet, and memories are moments that have already passed, right? The tricky part about the dreams is that, it's like, well, they're moments that haven't happened. Yes, but you can dictate however that moment comes into reality. When that dream aligns with the present, you can dictate what it's going to be to create it to become a memory. And this is why a lot of times, a lot of us dwell in the past, because those past moments were the moments that we've experienced. The dreams are the moments that we have yet to experience, and they can dictate and determine which way, we go in life, which way we choose. But all of those, either way, whether it's a memory or a dream, it starts as a moment. It is simply a moment of time, And as I said, what is time other than vibration, action, and rhythm, all in synchronicity with each other? So the only real moment, and I say the only real moment, is the present, because memories, the past has died already, and the future has yet to be born. So when we're in a mind state where all of the things that we focus on are past and future, simultaneously, we don't live in the moment. We don't live in the present much. And I don't want to be one of those cliche motherfuckers who's always, yes, you got to stay in the moment, stay in the now, stay in that. But you need to understand why it's important to stay in the now, because not just staying in the now, but being aware of the now that you're in. Because it's as time goes on, it's all a function of the levels in which we are. So, for example, I was just talking about birth and death, right? So from birth, the moment we enter this world, we have no memories. We have no memories. So the only two pieces that we can function on is the moment and the future. The moment and the dream, right? Those are the only types of moments we can focus on. The actual moment itself, which is the present, and the dream. So from birth, we have a lot more dreams in our minds than we have memories. Therefore, we have a lot more moments. We have a lot more intentional moments to bring dreams into reality than we have to continue to live in memories, right? And off the same other side of that, death is when, so like being born is when, like I said, you have far more dreams than you have memories. Death is the other side of that. Death is when you have more memories than you have dreams, because of course you lived your life. And that's what the present moment is. It's the moments in between that the time that accumulates in between birth and death is just a transition. It's just a transition of the moments of your life, from going from dreams to memories. Then the memories fade. You feel me? You ever heard somebody say dreams fade? They don't. Dreams don't fade. They stay vivid. That's why you have vivid dreams and faded memories. You feel what I'm saying? Because ultimately, the vivid dreams come from vivid life. Life is, about the birth and it's continuing on. And then the death, of course, is faded. You're transitioning on. It's the memories fade. They eventually fade out and wither away. But not wither away. I don't know, that shouldn't have been said for death, but you feel me? Those are the things. So when it comes to living, right? And this is where the battle comes in. Matter of fact, it is a duality. I'm going back real quick. It is a duality, between the memories and the death. The memories and the dreams. But the thing about it is like it's a Venn diagram. It's a Venn diagram. You have memories to the left. You have dreams to the right. Where they overlap are moments. That's the present. That creates the present. The instantaneous moment that you're having is when your memories and your dreams align in some way, shape, or form. But because of that, it creates reality, like realistically. So when you're a kid, this is why when you're young and you're a child, you don't have many memories to hinder you. That's why sky's the limit, they say. But this is why you don't have many memories to hinder you, because you haven't lived it. You dig what I'm saying? Case in point, they use this example all the time. If you tell a baby that they can't walk, will they believe you? No. Because now the dream is to emulate what I'm seeing. Everybody around me is walking. Everybody around me is talking. I'm going to walk and talk too. There's never been that limitation. You know where the limitation comes from? The memories. That's where the limitation comes from. And that's why it's like you can see kids overcome things so much easier than you see adults or elder people overcome things, because kids don't have many memories to bind them. The time in which they've experienced like the vibration, action, and rhythm, synchronicity in which they've already experienced life has not given them enough memories to stop them, to make them die, to make them start dying, And it's like, it's an interesting thing. Like, I think in like some psychology areas, they say like children don't, like their memory banks don't kick in until they're about 2. So imagine that. The first 2 years of your life, you feel me? The first 2 years of your life, all you have are dreams. And I'm not saying dreams in the sense of sleeping. I mean dreams in the sense of the vision to create, the vision that doesn't hinder you, the unbound visions of your mind. You feel me? Because you can literally create different scenarios so many different times, but the memories bring things into perspective, and that's where that balance comes in, and it helps you walk in the moment. You do what I'm saying? I hope you're walking with me. I'm hoping I'm making sense. You feel what I'm saying? But the point is that, so when it comes to the time is really, in essence, as I said, even though it's the vibration, action, and rhythm, it's how long we dwell in the moments. You feel me? Like memories and dreams are still both moments. Memories are just moments that have already happened. Dreams are moments that can happen or will happen or on the way to happen, right? But memories and dreams are still moments, right? So the present is the moment. And which moment are you going to live in? Are you going to live in a moment of memories? Or are you going to live in a moment of dreams? You need both. Don't get me wrong. You need both, because when the two overlap as far as the Venn diagram, that's where I was going with that. When the two overlap as far as the Venn diagram, that's when you get reality. You feel what I'm saying? That's when you get true reality, because now it's like I have something to measure this with as opposed to memories. And then I have something that can lead me to create something different. You feel what I'm saying? That's why kids, if we look at children are infinite. They're limitless. You feel me? Children don't believe that there's shit that they can't do. You feel what I'm saying? When I used to sell cars, one of my mentors, he was like, he said, you know why they put disclaimers on stuff? He said, for children. I was like, what do you mean? He said, you ever seen a cape? Look at the back of a cape, or the little tag on the cape says, you cannot fly if you have a cape. Why do children think they can fly with capes? Because all they see is the vision. All they see is the dream part. They don't have the memory of breaking no bone. They don't have the memory of trying to fly and fucking themselves up. You feel me? But what they do have is the imprint of what they saw on the TV or whatever the case may be of somebody flying. They didn't know anything about the strings being up there or CGI, none of that crazy shit. They just know this motherfucker flew. So they can create the dream that I can fly too. So in the moment, they got to make a decision. But there's no template to stop them. You feel me? The template is the memory that says, hey, wait. Remember last time you tried to fly, you broke your ankle. Fuck, chill out. You feel me? Children don't have that. Children don't have that. They don't have a lot of memories that limit them. You feel what I'm saying? But they have a lot of dreams that propel them. You feel me? And the older we get, the more dreams we accumulate, the more they start to limit us. and the less dreams we have that propel us. You feel what I'm saying? And they're all still functions of time, because what happens in those moments? What happens in those moments to us? You feel what I'm saying? And how long we stick to those moments, how long those moments are pieces of us, and how long we dwell within them. You feel what I'm saying? And what things we actually create for ourselves. That's why it's like, you got to be real strategic in the things that you make dreams, you know, because our dreams a lot of times too is like, what happens in our present moment is what programs our minds. You feel me? We got to deal with that shit too. Like I just turned 30 this year. Right? And, you know, I jokingly did it because I really didn't give a fuck, but I really wanted to see how people felt. I was like, yo, I'm about to enter 30. What's it like? You know, everybody said the same shit. Yo, your knees gonna start hurting, all of this shit. These are all of the dreams that they're now looking forward to for the future. You dig what I'm saying? That's their template. That's what they're going to be looking forward to in their future. Like, yeah, I'm 30. So, you know, once I hit 30, my knees start doing this and all of that shit. Like, I'm 30 and I still feel like I did when I was 22. You feel what I'm saying? And it's not on no, you know, or it's the way I take care of myself and shit like that too. But I still feel the way I was when I was 22. I just ran into an old homie that I went to undergrad with. And she was like, how the fuck did you not age? Because it's in your mind. Literally, where are your memories and your dreams? In your mind. I stop affirming that I'm getting old. You feel me? Because in the moment, when I make that reality happen, between the memory and the dream, when I start to make that reality happen, that creates the moment for me. When I start to say, oh man, I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm old. I'm not. I stop affirming that shit. I really stopped talking about age altogether with myself. You feel me? And that allowed me to dictate the time a lot more. You feel me? It allowed me to dictate the time a lot more. So, like I said, time is just a path. It's a journey between birth and death. You feel me? And it's a journey between birth and death that switches the accumulation of, that transitions from memories to transitions from dreams to memories through the moment. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I know this is sounding real woke. But like, it's like, follow me with it. Because this is how you know time is an illusion. Like, this is why once you're in a moment, you know, and then of course there's other factors that play into it, like feelings and emotions, because the feelings that you're feeling within the moment, it can dictate what you feel time is. It's how the moment passes. You feel what I'm saying? If from the beginning if you're into a moment in which you're dwelling on a memory of a bad memory, or whatever the case in point, fucked up relationships, those are bad memories. You feel me? Those are bad memories. That's why I tell people, stop dwelling on your exes. Stop dwelling on what the fuck your ex did to you. I get it. Heal, you know, deal with that shit so you don't so it doesn't happen to you again. But at the same time, stop focusing on the type of motherfucker you don't want. Start focusing on the type of motherfucker you do. Start focusing on the dream, because guess what you're gonna get? Guess what's gonna happen when the moment hits? When those two things align for the moment, you're gonna get what you think about the most. You're gonna think where your mental space is at. Time is gonna give that to you. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're not willing to be in that position of where your feelings can be, you know, you mastered your feelings and you say, okay, I want this moment to pass from a good feeling. You have the power to control that shit. You had the power to control that shit just by understanding time from this perspective in which I'm speaking. You feel what I'm saying? This is like, I'm not trying to be on the woke shit, like no shit you can't understand. Like, this is literally all reality. All you have to do is stop looking at a clock. Stop looking at, oh, I got this amount of years to do that shit. One thing, I was talking to this person about 3 years ago. They told me some very powerful shit and I internalized it. You know, I internalized like a motherfucker. I was like, they asked me how old I was. I think I had to be like 26 or 27 at the time. One of the two. But I was around that age, so they asked me how old I was. And I was like, how old are you? And it was like, I'm about a couple thousand experiences. I was like, oh, that's dope as fuck. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, and it started to make sense, because when I look at people, sometimes I ask people, you know, I talk to people who are like in their 60s and shit. And it's like they stopped experiencing life in their 20s. Just imagine as we go to college, we graduate, we get that good job, and we die right after that. We die, but we're not buried until we're not buried until we're in our 60s. Do you know why that is the case? Because all we have are memories. Like when I first went to undergrad, everybody said this is gonna be the best 4 years of your life. You know, when you're hearing that as a 18-year-old and shit, and you like, you had your trials and your tribulations up until that point, and you hear motherfuckers say this is gonna be the best 4 years of your life, you excited. You're like, damn, I'm gonna live it up. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna live it up. I'm gonna have fun. Then you start thinking, you graduate when you're 22. Unless you put in an extra work double major, 22, 24, whatever the case may be. But just imagine that. Those are the best 4 years of your life. You're supposed to live until you're 80. So out of 80 years, 4 years were the best years of your life. What the fuck with other 76? That's crazy, right? That shit's crazy. I stopped looking at my age, physical age, because it makes no sense to me anymore. You feel me? And I don't know, like I said, I'm not trying to be on that crazy shit, but if you look at your life from an experiential perspective as opposed to an actual age, you feel what I'm saying? How many experiences do you really have? Because now that's when you get to the comparison. Like, because I was talking when I was talking to this young lady, and we were talking about my first book after I wrote it. And she was like, "You wrote this book when you were 26 years old?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, I said, and in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, man, I probably could have wrote it, about 5 or 6 years earlier than that." You feel me? Because I had the information, just never put it down. And she was like, "Well, you know what I was doing when I was 26 years old?" She was like, the thing that we were talking about was that I said, I feel like I'm late. I feel like I'm behind on things. I feel like I'm behind. And she was like, "How?" I was like, "Cause man, I should have this by now. I should have this by now." She said, I think at the time I was 28. She was like, "You're only 28. She said, "You wrote your first book when you were 26 years old." I said, "I know." And that was too late. She was like, "You know what I was doing when I was 26? It put things into perspective because it was no longer just about the age or the time. It was about the experiences of life. Our experiences were different. You feel me? The very things that it started to make sense why I felt like I was late, because the things that she was doing at 26 years old, I was doing when I was like 15 or 16. I already got a 10-year difference, but it's not 10 years. It's the experience within that 10-year pocket. You dig what I'm saying? Within that 10-year pocket of life, the experiences that I have a lot of experiences in this world. You feel what I'm saying? So now when I talk to people who are older than me, they can't believe that I'm like, it's funny as shit. Shout out to y'all. Y'all my homies and shit. But if you like, some of my homies who don't know how old I am when they first meet me, they be calling me big bro and shit only to find out I'm younger than them. They be like, "What? You fuck?" I'm like, it's because it's just the way in which I experienced the life. And this is how I'm saying that it's life, the time in which we're experiencing is all about moments. It's about the accumulation of the moments. So when we create the memories, it pushes things back. Like, I know people who say things like something happened to them when they were, let's say somebody's 25 and they were like, "Something happened to me when I was 19 and it still feels like yesterday." You feel me? And then on the other hand, that same person could be 25 and not even remember something that happened when they were 19. Because that's how many experiences they had that pushed those memories to the back. You feel what I'm saying? Same amount of time, quote unquote, different amount of experiences. So it's like when I started to internalize that, like I was saying with that person, I was like, "Yo, I'm about a couple 100,000 experiences." You know what I'm saying? And just in this lifetime. And then like when they put that shit on, I was like, "Damn, bro." Because we are infinite, timeless beings, but why are we timeless? Why are we timeless? Because memories and dreams are the two things that drive us. That's the state of the mind. Like in So Frail, I mentioned how the mind is the bridge between the body and the soul. And the body is your action, your soul is your will. You feel me? That mind is that. So, damn, this shit just gave me an aha moment. So the mind, with it being the bridge between the body and the soul, right? The soul is the will, the body is action, the mind is thought. You will it, you think it, you act. That's the movement of life, right? But in the mind, if you now have this understanding and the conceptualization of time being about the moment, you're either going to have memories and you're going to have dreams. Your will, which is your soul power, is going to infuse your thoughts. Are your thoughts based off of memories, or your thoughts based off of dreams? Because that's going to create the moments that your physical body creates, that you act on. You dig what I'm saying? So the mind is very, very important in this point in regards to time and what we're talking about. If all you dwell on are your memories, what do you think you will into existence? What do you think your inner will is going to bring out? That's why relationships are easy to talk about with this, because it's like, as long as you dwell on that bullshit, that's what you're going to will into existence. Your mind is going to stay in the memory state. And then now we're going to the part where time doesn't exist. They're like, time doesn't exist. This is why memories can stay fresh. This is why memories can be just as fresh as a dream can be. You feel me? Because it has shattered the illusion that what time really is, and shows you that time is just about moments, and it's about the action, the vibration, and the rhythm. Those three universal laws all coming together at one time. You feel me? So the memory that is allowed to stay is like, it's not being erased. And we have a lot of different memories. So it's like, as far as relationships go, if every relationship, that your memory is about it being broken, is about being bad and all of that shit, and that's what you hold on to, it's going to be hard to shift that when it's time to have a dream about a relationship. Because now your will creates dreams, and it creates memories. And what I mean by, I'm not going to say create them. Your will brings dreams into reality, and it brings your memories into reality. If your life is stuck in a loop, you feel me? A continual loop, and time just keeps repeating the same shit over and over again, it's because your will has now been dictated by the memories that your mind holds, not the dreams that you wish to have. Now, this is not say be dreamer in the sense of be fanatical and shit like that, but don't put the dreamer has no limitations, but the person who's memory ridden, they have limitations. They're limited by the memories that they have, because of the moments the moments that created the memory. It creates like a bit of fear. You feel what I'm saying? But those memories can also create the fuel to make the dreams come a reality, because it's like, okay, I experienced this, and this gave me this potential. Case in point, when I was learning how to actually day trade and stuff, I had to switch how I perceive my memories in the moments. Because the moments when I didn't get something, or didn't grasp, or didn't understand a concept, I didn't just say, okay, this ain't for me because the memory is giving me something bad. So no, let me figure out the missing piece. This is how I can use this memory. So now you can manipulate your memories and your thoughts. Your memories and your dreams. That's all thoughts are. Thoughts are elements, like fire, like the element of fire, element of water. Thought is an element, and it's an element that moves significantly faster than light. You feel me? I don't think a lot of us pay attention to that. Like, if we, quote unquote, do the conscious shit from perspective, we got, the four elements, earth, water, fire, air. But then above that, you have three more elements, the intangibles. You feel me? You have sound, you have sound, you have light, and then you have thought. Thought moves faster than light. You feel what I'm saying? This is why, if you ever paid attention to it, by the time you recognize something, by the time you realize that you're thinking, you've already had several thoughts. Because the element is there. You feel me? And this element has two different divergence. You feel what I'm saying? The element of thought can have two different splits. You can either have memories, or you can have dreams. Past or present. It's how you utilize these elements, the differentiation between these elements, that give you your present moment. You feel what I'm saying? Are the thoughts that you dictate, are thoughts that you experience, are they all based off of memories? That's going to put you in a fearful state of life, especially if every memory that you have is bad. You feel me? Are your thoughts rooted in dreams, to where you're always thinking that more can happen, more life can happen? And that goes back to the point that I was talking about birth and death. When I hear people that have a lot more dreams, they look younger physically. People that have plans and shit that they want to do in life, and they're actively doing it, and they're constantly bringing things, and their moments, their present is dream driven. They're a lot younger. They physically, they don't feel like they're aging. But when I see people that have a lot more memories tied to it, they're more memory driven. They're always thinking about the past. They're down. You feel me? It's a funny thing It's what I'm about to say, but it's real. Look at Winnie the Pooh characters, right? Who looks the youngest? Tigger. Yeah, Tigger got ADHD or whatever the case may be. Tigger and Winnie the Pooh are the youngest looking characters. Rabbit, Eeyore, and Piglet look old as fuck. Old as fuck. And what do they do? Like look at their mentality. You feel what I'm saying? It's now patterned with what I'm talking about as far as they're memory driven. Their thing is focused on the problems of their reality. Tigger say turn. Why? Because he's a dreamer, low key. You feel me? It's always about the next move. It's not always about the last one. You feel me? So look at, like, when I understand people in real life, it's like, you know, I see people who, you know, it's like, damn. It's a running joke. It's like, yo, some of the people that I went to college with or whatever case, or high school with, it's like, damn, how the fuck you look older than me? You didn't, like, you feel me? You didn't age well. You feel me? You didn't age well. I seen this. I went to a gas station to get a pack of cigars. You know, this is not a slight to this person or try to, you know, speak. I'm just speaking the context that we're in. So, I had not seen this person in years. When I say she's a year older than me, she's a year older than me. A year and a day. I think our birthdays are 1 day apart. Didn't even recognize her when I seen her in the gas station. She spoke to me, called me. I was like, yo, it took me everything now to say, yo, what happened? But it's like, yo, you did not age well. You on that shit? I don't know. I hope you ain't on that shit, but you on that shit. You feel me? But it's like, in that brief conversation, it's like, yo, what you been doing with your life? We had that conversation. I was like, yeah, you know, she was like, you still in school? I said, no, I finished school. I graduated already. You feel me? I started a couple businesses and stuff, got a podcast. I started telling, she was like, wow. I was like, what about you? And it's like different. I ran into an old girlfriend. You feel what I'm saying? She's like, how do you still look as young? I was like, I don't get it. I don't look that young. I don't feel like I look that young. I ain't got no fucking hair, bro. Like, I lost my shit because I'm always on go. So I guess that's my aging identifier. But you feel what I'm saying? I got grays in my beard. So it's like, you know, I shouldn't have had that at 30. But at the same time, it's like, what's the driving force? And it's in the time. It's in what we've done with our moments. It's in what we allowed our souls to will into the moments, dreams and our memories. You feel me? That's why it's like, I go back to telling people, you know, always be childlike, never childish. When I say be childlike, this is what I'm referring to, because children, they are driven by their dreams. They're not driven by their memories. And a lot of kids are defeated because they become corrupted. I'm gonna say corrupted by the memories of the parent. Those aren't even memories that I have. You know how many times you've heard growing up, you know, I've been where you were before. I know, no. You did not have my experience with it. You had your experience. Share your experience with me. Cool. But don't stifle me and tell me not to do something based off of your experience. You know, like I mentioned a story before about me and my mom talking about certain classes in school. You feel what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, when I tried to take that class, it was hard. That was you. I know I was never disrespectful towards my mom. I never, but you know, there was times when I had to just, yo, this was the reality. You feel me? I never intentionally, like, it was never coming from my heart to say this is some disrespectful shit. You feel me? But we had those moments. She was like, I remember, because I was taking like a course lot. I had like statistics, chemistry, biology. It was a decent load. So it's like, she heard it. She was like, you're going to have to buckle down. Those are some hard courses. I remember I said, Mom, they're not hard. Yes, they are. No, I said, for you. You feel me? When I walked out with all A's in those courses, she was like, wow, I don't know how you did it. Cause exactly. Say that last sentence again. You don't know how I did it because you're basing you're trying to put your experience on me. I can't internalize your memory. I can't experience your memory. I can't, but that's what happens to children. You feel me? That's what happens to our children. We get them to internalize our memories they never had. Rather than teaching them how to create their own memory through the experience in the moment that they're going to have, we try to infuse our memory within them. You know how that kind of fucks them up, because they'll never experience the memory no matter how much information we give them about it. No matter how much we tell them, don't do this because when I did it, this, that, and the third happened. You're just going to scare them. They're going to be fearful because now it's like, I don't even have a chance to get this experience. I could really be the one to go through it and come out better than that. Another example, you feel me? I have family who, quote unquote, did MLMs or whatever the case may be. Oh, I did one of these get rich quick schemes. I did one of these things and all right, cool. I got it. But I still got to go through my own experience to see what it was. Granted, I got out of the motherfucker too. But at the same time, where our experience was, it's always, I look at it like this. It's not about like Lil Wayne said, and fucking believe me, he was like, it's not what you walk away from, it's what you walk away with. Because of our experience, I walked away with something different. What I walked away with allowed me to become an entrepreneur. It allowed me to go to that next level. What they walked away with stopped them altogether. We're not the same. Our experience, therefore, our time with this thing is not the same. You feel me? Our time with this particular moment is not the same. Right? So why are we trying to experience life the same way? So this is why I say we go back to being childlike. You feel me? Children have to experience and develop their own memories with things. So much of us have taken on the memory of another motherfucker and made it our own like it's ours. You dig what I'm saying? So much so, even on a basic level. You ever heard a motherfucker that you told a story to tell another motherfucker the story like they were there? And you looking at them like, bro, you weren't even there, dog. Like, that's what? That's like, yo, why are you repeating some shit that I said you weren't even there for? You feel me? Because we have gotten so used to internalizing other people's memories without even knowing it. You dig what I'm saying? This is why I say you got to pay attention to the information, the shit that you're putting in your visual, watching TV, YouTube, whatever the case may be. Control what you're putting into it, because that is now starting to dictate your desire, your dreams, and your memories without you even knowing it. You're living through things that aren't you. They're not your experience. You feel what I'm saying? That's why it's like when I looked at people who, when I went to college, they started being gangsters then. What? Don't start it now, bro. Like you're past the loop. You aged out. You can't start gangbanging in college. Like you can't do it. It doesn't make sense. But it's safer for you to gangbang here. You got campus security. Nobody's really gonna fight here. Nobody's really gangsters in college no more. Like the gangsters that came from the hood and came to college, you don't know that they're real gangsters. You feel me? Because they're like, yo, bro, I want to get out of the shit. You want to go back in? Because it's the experiences of the time. Their expression of a gangster is what they see in TV and shit, not the actual moment of being in the gang life. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's the time in which you spent and how you dictated this memory. Or whether it was a memory or a dream, which is a point of thought. You feel what I'm saying? So like I said, when people say time is an illusion, they have to define it. They have to tell you why it's an illusion. Time isn't real. You feel me? It's just, we all here. This is the reason why time is not real. This is why time is not real. Time is not real because it is a factor based upon the vibration, action, and rhythm that you experience on a regular basis based off the 12 laws of the universe. Then from there, you have the element of thought at play, which is either going to have a divergence of being a memory or a dream. And then your soul has to kick in to will either the memory or the dream into reality to get your present moment. You feel me? That's why a lot of people people be thinking, oh, this is karmic debt. That ain't karmic debt. That's your willing memories into reality. You're staying in a moment of memory as opposed to staying into a moment of dream. Like, I started to pay attention to like the women that I was attracting, during the heartbreak. I kept attracting the women that was just like the motherfucker that I was, because all I could think about was the memory. I had not sat and, healed myself enough to say, okay, I can dream about the type of woman I want again. I can think about the dream woman that I want, not the memory woman. Like, I'll never see that memory woman again, but she's still alive and well in my head. Why? For the sisters, like, you'll never see that memory man again, but he's alive and well in your head, not the dream man. Why? So what do you think your soul is going to will into reality? Through the moments that you experience. The dream man, because the memory man, because that's where you're going to operate. The memory woman, because that's what you're going to operate from. Keep talking to my brothers and shit, and they like, yo, black women ain't this, like, yo, and imprinted. What was it? Just talking about it not too long ago about how, when you ask a black man why he doesn't like a black woman, why he dates white women or whatever the case may be, it's never that he actually likes those women. It's because it's in spite of what black women have done to him. Memories. His soul has willed that memory into his present moment. So that's all I fuck with now because of the memories that have been in, like, not the dreams and the desires that I have, but the memories. You feel me? The memories that have been imprinted. So now when you see the video hoes, when you see all of these things, the time in which you spent with understanding and creating, you dig what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? The time in which you have sat with the imagery that is constantly bombarding your thoughts in your mind is going to dictate which way your will goes. Your will is going to dictate how that reality plays itself out. When you love bad bitches, that's your only problem. I was guilty of that. I was guilty of that because my desire, my dream, like fuck the memory part, but my dream part has now been overloaded with the bad bitch image. And not only that, my memory has been co-signed to it too. When these two things overlap, when your memory and your dream is the same, when your memory and your dream is the same, the will is going to happen. This is how programming works. All right. Look. The markets are not a difficult place to understand. All right. You just have to know what you're looking at. And there's 5 things that you need to see before you can make any market entry. First, you need a pocket so you can know which direction the market is going in. Second, you need a pullback so you can get the better price. Third, you need a battlefield so you can see when that market movement is slowing down. Fourth, you need the upper hand so you can see when the market reactivates. And last, you need a final push so you can see the exact moment when it's time to go with the direction you are already moving in. Okay? Of course, there's so much more that has to go into that, and it's not as cut and dry as that. But those are things that I teach in my Mastering the Market course. So if you would like to learn more, please visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today. Although it is directed and specialized for Forex, all of the skills, I crafted them to be transferable to any market that you're looking at. So again, visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today if you are truly looking to master the market. Oh yeah, and don't forget, while I still got you, you can use promo code QUARANTINE to save over 90% off of the enrollment of the full price of the course. That is QUARANTINE, QUARANTEEN. This is how, when people say it's only entertainment, entertainment literally and etymologically breaks down to the words entertain and mint. Enter means to go in, tain is a form of holding, and mint is the mind. Entertainment means to go in and hold the mind. So when people say it's only entertainment, it is only entertainment, but the entertainment is now captured and bonded to both aspects of the element of thought, the memory and the dream. Okay? And when you spend the time with that, which is the action, vibration, and rhythm. When you spend the time with that, and now you have both of these, you have this thing that you're spending the time with. The moments that you're involved in yourself with are both creating the memory and the dream that to be the same. This is what your reality is going to be. You feel what I'm saying? So I get it a lot. I just had an argument with that. Somebody was like, yo, you can't make somebody gay. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I'm not saying people aren't gays for as long as they can remember, but it's a function of time and experience. It's function of time and what has been internalized within your mind. What memory do you have? The memory of the dream, and what dream have you created? Now, when you create this, now the dream is now being created when you see a rewarding, fulfilling, whatever it is out of these things. Because at that same principle, because we can't look at it like that. We can't look at it like this is how pedophilia is starting to slip in, because we can't at one breath say, okay, well, you could be born gay, but you can't be born a pedophile. By that definition, if you could be born homosexual, yes, you can. You feel me? I could be born a murderer. I could be born a drug dealer. I could be born all of these things. Like, they can tell me these things can pass down into my DNA, but somehow, you know what I'm saying? I mean, or they can tell me that these things aren't necessarily passed down. These are my environment and things of that nature. But somehow it's like that same, it doesn't apply, because it's when you have been bombarded with something for as long as you can remember, it's as long as you can remember, you think it's all your life. You feel what I'm saying? That's all I know. That's now my time with it, which now is the memory and the thought. I mean, the memory and the dream. My moments are always built off one of those two things. And when I'm constantly bombarded from both sides, how entertainment now plays into my head, this is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? Now you have the entertainment, you have the music, you have all of these different things playing in this reality. You feel me? You don't even know some of the things, the imagery that is subconscious, that is listed in the background, that you don't even see as you're focusing on the thing. Your mind picks up all of that shit, and it has a storage component. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why it's like, now children don't have memories. So this is why you got to get them young. Children don't have memories. All they have is dreams. And now I'm going to infill everything that you thought, every desire, every point of your mind, every element of thought is either going to be is going to be a dream. It's not going to be a memory. Now, because I keep bombarding your thoughts as you start to experience life, now it goes into your memory bank. From the dream that you have now accomplished, it now goes into your memory bank, which starts when you're about 2 years old. And now you spend a lot of moments, the present moments, overlapping these things. This is the reality. You feel what I'm saying? I know homies that started selling drugs because they listened to Jeezy. You feel me? If you ain't trapping, kill yourself. Whoa, that's a hell of an affirmation. You can't ban the snowman and this, that, and the third. And you constantly listen to the music about, like, drug dealers listen to drug dealer music. You feel me? All of the drug dealers that I ever knew, their favorite movies were Scarface, Goodfellas, Godfather, you know, all of these different, like, gangster movies and shit. I'm like, bro, when did you become a gangster? You feel me? Were you born a gangster? No. Your environment did. But so at the same time, I'm not saying that, you know, people don't feel like, you know, I feel like nobody's born anything, but you are whatever you are for as long as you can remember, based off of the time that you spent with these thought processes, based off of the time that you spent with the things that are constantly involved. That's why I'm like, your time is an illusion, because you don't know how much you set with that thing. You feel me? You just know it's there. You feel me? You really just know it's there. These feelings, these things, these emotions and shit, that shit plays into your mind. You feel me? You really have no conceptualization of time when you're trying to conceptualize time, because it's infinite. It's infinite. There's infinite possibilities of how it is, because now it's now tied into your feelings. It's now tied into these other things. So when we look at time in that perspective, it's like, how do we control it? Yeah, you can control time. You can control time. I'm not saying, you know, can control the clock, the movement of what the clock is just identified for you, but you can control time. You ever been, look, this is some dope shit. I learned this about, like, when I was studying 5D and everything. This is how it works. Like, people be like, yo, we're in the fifth dimension. We can control. This is how you're going to control time. You have to understand your dreams, and you have to understand your memories, and you have to understand your will. You ever been going somewhere? You feel me? And you kept telling yourself, you kept infusing, I am not going to be late. I am not going to be late. I am not going to be late. And it's like, somehow it's like, yo, I hit every green light. I hit everything here, because your dream, you have now internalized the dream side, not the memory side. You have internalized the dream side, that there is no memory. It's nothing to block you. It's nothing to block your thought. You're solely operating from the dream side of the element of thought, right? You have now willed that into reality. And you're paying attention. Yo, I'm hitting this green light, that green light. God damn, yo, I'm gonna make this motherfucker. Now it's getting you more excited, because now your feeling is now attached to that. Your feeling is your energy, emotion. It's now attached to that dream, which is that element of thought, element of creation. You're literally creating this in real time, and you're thinking it's just coincidence. You're actually doing this shit. You feel what I'm saying? You now get there, and it's like, you get there like, yo, you hit your friends like, yo, I had 2 minutes to spare. I left late, but I got there 2 minutes early. How? You dig what I'm saying? You beat the clock. How did you do it? How did you beat the clock? Because you control time. You control time. This is not no scary shit. I don't want you to feel like, no, when woke people talk about, like, no, I'm really going to give you the science behind this shit. The universal science. This shit is a real fucking thing you can really do. Why? And here's how you were able to beat the time. Why? Because you had the action, you had the vibration, and you had the rhythm. And a universe aligned to it, because now your soul willed that thought into reality. And then the actions around you all happen the same way. You hit every green light. The traffic was just, the people it just flowed. It seemed like it was just bam, perfect. You feel what I'm saying? It was perfect. I remember I used to Uber in Philly, and I had picked up this person. Now, look, let me tell you motherfuckers that Uber and Lyft and shit, right? Don't do a fucking pool or a group ride and then want to be somewhere on time. All right? That's not safe for your Uber driver. You feel me? And it ain't got shit to do with them that you want to be cheap. I'm like, yo, you have to, this is the battle of sacrificing time and money. If you want the time, pay the money. You feel me? If you want to save the money, you got to deal with the time. You feel me? That's all I'm saying. Tidbit. So anyway, this person has to be to the bus station at 10 o'clock on the dot. You feel me? They get an Uber pool. Well, no, I was lifting it. They get the Lyft share. They get a Lyft share at like 9:32. Right? Now, From where I picked them up at to where I had to drop them off at, it was literally like 15 minutes. They would have made it, but they did a pull. So somebody on the way has to get in. So I have to go pick the motherfucker up. Oh, we gonna be late. How you gonna? Y'all did the pull. Don't yell at me. But I said, we'll get there. We ain't going. I said, we'll get there. We'll get there before 10 o'clock. How do you know that? Trust me, we'll get there. Just shut up and ride. I ain't say shut up because I gotta get my 5 stars. So I was like, yo, just ride. You feel me? And we went to go pick the dude up. By the time we picked the dude up, it was 9:50. They're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna miss this train. We're gonna miss this bus. I said, yo, you're not. You're gonna get there at 9:59. Trust me. Well, the GPS say 10:02. I said, you're gonna get there at 9:59. Just let me drive. All right? Just be quiet, please. I need you to be quiet. Right? So she's like, all right, we better get there. What you gonna do if you don't? Don't threaten me because now you gonna fuck up my intention. Yo, chill out. So I'm driving. I got her there at 9:59. They're like, oh my gosh, you made it. I'm gonna tip you for that. Yeah, you better. Like, for real. But the reason why I'm saying that is because in real time, I've done it several times. You feel me? You've done it several times. I know you have. You just didn't pay attention to it. You thought it was coincidence that you were just able to know. You had stepped into a realm of creation. The thought is an element. Understand that. Thoughts are elements of creation. It is the 7th element. You feel me? We keep getting stuck in this loop of there's 4 elements: earth, air, water, fire, avatar. Like, but now you also have sound, light, and you have thought. These are all elements too, right? They're all cosmological elements. Thought is the highest element. When you can start to learn to manipulate thought, every other element is different. You feel me? And you understand thought by how you operate with your mind. So the point that I'm saying is like, when you see and you've experienced things where it's like, I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm gonna be late. All right, so case in point, now let's do the other side of it. You feel me? When you always thinking, oh, I'm gonna be late to work. Now you have operated from the memory side. You don't even have the energy or the feeling to infuse it and say, okay, I'm gonna try to be on time. Fuck it, I'm just gonna be late. You're gonna literally pull up at the exact same time that you always do. But you don't think nothing of it because now you have fueled that memory side. You didn't fuel the dream side. The dream side is now going to create that reality to make it happen. I know this shit just made you go, damn, I do be doing that shit. Because you do. You've done it several times. You just didn't know what you were doing. You just contributed to a coincidence or just the way the universe aligned for you. The universe aligns because you have to step into and allow that alignment to happen too. You control a lot of the shit because your soul now has to will the thought that you're going to use. And your thoughts the element of thought is split into a duality. Either it's a memory or it's a dream. When you infuse it with a dream, that's when the shit starts to happen. You feel me? That's when the shit starts to happen. It starts to go crazy. It's like, yo, I really did this shit. You feel me? I really did this shit. Just really think about this shit. Some shit that you really wanted. Like when you really want, you're like, I can't miss this. I can't do this. And you see how it happens. I use that example of like trying to get somewhere on time and then happening to get there early because everything just happened. Like, you're like, how did I beat the clock? I know people who do this shit because I do it myself. You put the GPS on and it says you're going to get there at this particular time. You say, I'm going to beat that. I know it's as subtle as that shit, but then what do you do when you beat it? You didn't speed. You didn't go any faster than you thought you should have. You might have go like 5 over, but you typically drive how you normally drive and you beat the clock and you beat the time it said it was going to get you there. How'd you do it? Did time stand still? Did the clock freeze or something like that? No. Your thought, your dream, when it was brought into the moment and willed into reality, it happened. That's time. That's time. Time can be bent. Time can be controlled. But there's things that we have to understand about time. It's not just the clock. It's not what you see on the clock. It's understanding that time is 3 universal laws coming together. In those 3 universal laws, you now have to operate from the duality, right? Of the living aspect, not the dying aspect. The dying aspect is tied to your memories. The living aspect is tied to your dreams. You feel what I'm saying? So now when I say I go back down to how the children operate, children they live from birth. You feel me? And then that's how time, the aspect of time is when we transition from having more memories. We start off having more dreams than memories. And then ultimately it has that point where it balances, where we reach that midpoint. I'm going to finish this statement, then I'm going to go on to that. Then we reach that midpoint and then it goes to where death is where we just have more memories than we have dreams. Because we know our time is almost up. We like, man, I did all the shit that I had to do in life. I'm good. I ain't got to worry about shit. You feel me? my time is done. I have enough memories. I share it with the world. I did whatever I can do. And then that's it. You transition on, right? But damn, I should have said it because now I forgot that thought. Oh, there you go. So when people have a midlife crisis, you know what that is about? When they have accumulated far more memories and never had any dreams. And then the midlife crisis, no, in the memories that they accumulated, they never had any of their dreams come into fruition. So when that midlife crisis hits, it's like, damn, I did nothing that I was supposed to do. You didn't use your life. You didn't use your life. You used your death. You use your death. You operated more from the memory perspective of life. Stuck in the memory loop as opposed to stuck in the dream loop. Because the dream loop is infinite, it creates. You feel me? That's where you're creating from. You know? That's where time is there. Like this is the reason why they say time is an illusion, it's not real. This is how time, and it's like time is a real experience still. Because we're looking at time as, the clocks and the calendars and all of that shit. No, those are just markers for a certain loop to keep everybody synchronized into a certain thing. But time is your own time. It's irrelevant. Time is irrelevant when you know what time really is. You dig what I'm saying? And you can start to play with it. Like the whole Prince of Persia shit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be like, don't take me as like that. Oh, I can go back in time. No, the fuck you can't. You can only stay in the moment. You can only go back in time in your mind. But here's the plot twist to that. Because when people think that you can go back in time as far as like, time travel and shit. No, you can't do it that way. But you can go back in time according to your mind. When you're stuck in a memory, you keep going back in time. Like one thing that I always notice that people say is that, when some fucked up shit happens to them, they say, you gonna make me go back to the old me. They go back to their old self and then they end up in the exact same position again. They time travel. They went back in time. They literally regressed back to their old self and then they came what? They realigned with the exact moment they were in that they're bitching about right now. You feel me? That's why one thing that I changed in my perspective with that, I was like, look, y'all gonna fuck around and make me turn into the new me. Keep playing. Because I had to change that perspective. I don't want to go back to the old me. Because that's going to bring me into the very situation that I'm complaining about right now that I'm saying, fuck that. Like, I'm going to go back to my old ways. My old ways ultimately led me here. So they're going to leave me here just at a later time. Again, you feel me? Because now my will is now created and operating through the memory side. So when I switch that perspective and say, y'all going to fuck around and turn me into the new me, keep playing with me. You feel me? When I started to affirm that, my will started to change. I don't even know what the new me is. But I create it because now it's off the side of my desire, my dreams. With it being from the perspective of my dreams, I'm more apt to say, okay, let me control this. I use my memories for the reality of it. Because just operating from the dreams, you can become like the kid who puts on the cape and think they can fly. No, sometimes you need a few disclaimers. You need those disclaimers. Say, wait, pull it back. You feel what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean you stop dreaming. That doesn't mean you stop dreaming. It also means don't take on somebody else's memories that you never experienced. You feel me? Like I promised, this was supposed to be, it's about time, but it was supposed to be a little bit different. I think I'm still in the vein of time regarding this, but this is what came out with the suggestion. This is what came out with the suggestion in time. Memories, moments, and dreams. How many of us know that we're stuck in memories? And we wonder why life is just like, why is it still in this place? Because you're stuck in your memory loop. You got to start creating the dream loop and get stuck in that shit. You feel me? A lot of people say I do shit fast. You feel me? Like when I said I was going to retire at 28, I did it. I was 26 years old when I first said it. It took you 2 years to do that shit. That shit was quick as hell. No, it won't. It was long as fuck. You just don't know how long it was because you wasn't in the experience. 2 years is a relatively short time from a calendar perspective, but experience perspective, fuck no. You don't know what I had to do to get to that shit. You feel me? You don't know what I had to do to get to that shit. You feel me? There's a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces that had to go into actually solidifying that position. You feel me? So it's like, I can't take and that's one of the hardest things about that, Motivational shit. Motherfuckers say, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. They're trying to give you their dream. They're trying to give you their dream without the experience. So you just believe I can do it too. That's why you get fucked up, because just like you can internalize somebody's memory and never have their experience and let that be something that hinders you. You can use somebody else's dream without their experience and use that to fuck you up. You feel me? One thing that, I learned to stop saying to people, they were like, yo, we got the same 24. Your 24 is nothing like mine. Your 24 hours are nothing like mine. I'm not even going to put that on you. This is no arrogant thing. This is not me bragging. This is not me thinking highly of myself. Well, I do think highly of myself, not thinking above myself, above other people. But the reality is that you don't have my 24, because you don't know what I'm doing with the moment. You don't know what I'm doing with the exact moment that I'm living. So you're looking like, oh, I can do it. No, I stopped telling people you can do what I can do, because you can't. You can't. You can't, because you don't have my experience. You don't have the soul. You don't have the will that I have to bring this into reality. You have to have that will. You feel me? And all of this is about time. All of these things are about extensions of time. Time is not anything about, this is going to sound crazy, but time has nothing to do with time as we know it. Time is about vibration, action, and rhythm, right? And then you couple that with the element of thought and the divergence between thought being memory and dream, and you get stuck in the moment. It's what you do with the moment. Is your moment going to be dictated by a dream? Is your moment going to be dictated by a memory? Is it going to be dictated by a negative memory? Is it going to be dictated by the positive memory? You feel what I'm saying? While it's being dictated by a negative or a positive memory or a negative or positive dream, are you feeling good about it? Are your feelings positive or are your feelings negative? All of these things create the web of time. All of these things create the web of time. This is why 5 minutes you can feel case in point, you at work. This is why you could be at work doing what you don't want to do. And the whole shift, you work a whole 8-hour shift. Oh my gosh, I've been here for 12 hours, but I've only been here for 8. Because you don't like the work. You have a negative feeling with that. But you can go on your break, which is your own time. And that 1 hour is quick as hell. It's like, bro, damn, it's been an hour already. You feel me? It's quick as fuck. Why? Because time isn't real. But time is a basis of action, vibration, and rhythm. And how your feelings and how you're in that experience with it. That's why you have to learn how to, if you want to slow time down, you have to learn how to control your emotions. You have to learn to control your feelings. Well, feelings and emotions are different, but mainly your feelings. But when you learn how to control and master your feelings, when you can learn to master your feelings, you can start to control time a lot better. Or you can have a consistent streamlined flow of time and not have that ebb and flow of where, in my excited moments, time moves real quick, but then I'm dragging shit out. I want this to drag. So I go into a longer time frame. This is why kids are infinite. You feel me? They don't believe in time. They don't even know what time is. We teach them what time is, but we don't teach them what time is. We teach them how to read clocks. We teach them how to read clocks. We teach them how to basically tell time, but we don't teach them how to define and know what time really is. You know why? Because we don't know what time is. We don't know what time is. I don't want to come off like, the extra esoteric or mystical, but some of this shit has to be taught this way. We need to stop. We need to get off of the surface shit. Yo, it's time to elevate our minds a lot higher. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want you to feel like I'm just trying to give this information because, I want to sound no, I experienced this shit. You experienced it too. That's why you having these aha moments bruh, that shit makes sense. Cause it do. It fucking do make sense. And it makes sense because you experience it. This isn't something you have to go find in a book. You just have to step out in fucking nature. You feel me? You have to step out in fucking nature based off the experience that you're choosing to live. So you have to get back to, that's why I say you have to get back to that childlike nature. Children, time as we have conceptualized it and taught them, they don't understand time until we teach it to them. And that's when the shit turns off, because now you feel like you got to beat the clock. No, you control the clock. Your clock. You feel me? Yo, I'm supposed to be here by this particular time in my life, and I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing that, blah, 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 blah. No, you control the time. How do you control the time? By controlling your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts, and knowing the element of the thought being split in between the memory and the dream, and stop dwelling and sitting in your memories. You can't soak in your memories forever, yo. You can't. But when you do, that's why you have a long, drawn out life. My day was so long and so tired and this, that, and the third. When I used to go to work, I used to come in, go to work, and get out. You feel me? The reason why is because it was like I kept that energy of, fuck that, I'm dictating this, let me go ahead and this is what I'm doing. Like, that time went by quick. You feel me? That time went by quick. And it was crazy because, like, the same people was like, yo, bro, we still here. I'm like, yo, the shift almost over. What are you talking about? Different perspectives of the experience we're having with time. You feel what I'm saying? It's different experiences of what we have with time. And those are the things that we have to remember how to do, and we got to relearn how to do correctly. Like, yo, you can control time. You can control your time, because this is your individual time. You have a birth and you have a death. Everything else is up to you to control in between. Do you want it to speed up? Do you want it to slow down? How do you want it to move? It's based off of your memories and your thoughts. I mean, your memories and your dreams, which are all both your thoughts, and how to merge them and fit them within the present moment. You know, when you want to slow down, tap into your memories. Simple. When you want to speed up, tap into your dreams. When you just want to coast and chill, merge them. You have the power to do so. Why not? It's all in your fucking mind. You feel me? But what we do, we internalize everybody else's. Imagine this. Imagine internalizing another motherfucker's memories that you never experienced. You know what that does to your mind? You try to fill in pieces that you can't fill in. You feel me? You try to fill in pieces that you can't fit in. Fill in. Women do this shit all the fucking time with their relationships with men. Some men do it too, but it's mainly with women. When you try to understand him and get to know him, and you know, oh, I want to know this hurts you and that hurts you. No, you can't internalize his memory because you don't know his experience. This motherfucker could be bullshitting you with the magnitude of his experience. You feel what I'm saying? Because now you want to base it off of, okay, how would I do that? It doesn't matter. You didn't experience it. The fuck? Now you created a whole what if in your own fucking mind. And you want to solve a what if that you can never figure out. You will never be able to be that 17, 16-year-old kid who did this, that, the third, that you're trying to internalize for this man. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You know? I'm going to wrap up with this. Because I do the chatting with scene sessions, whatever people want to vent to me, talk to me about, everybody, they ask me, like, how do you stay charged up? How do you not internalize this? This is how I don't internalize this shit. No matter what I do, no matter what you pour onto me, no matter what you put onto me, I can't take it on. That's not my fucking memory. You feel me? You can get shot 100 times over and survive it and be crippled and all of this shit. And you can come to me and I can help you get through it. Through my empathy, I can help you get through it through these points, but I cannot take it on because it's not mine. I will never experience that shit. If I do take it on, now I'm creating scenarios within my head where I'm trying to make it a reality for me. And I can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. So when people ask me, how do I deal with, you know, taking on people's things, or how do I do it like that? The only things that I know how to take on are the memories that are mine. Your memories are yours. They're stories to me. I could dictate, to be honest, whether I feel they're real or fake. I don't really care. Not that I don't care about what you're saying, because that's why I set the sessions up for people to actually get those points out. But it's like, I can't take that shit on. I can't. Not only that, I won't, like, okay, I put up, be like, yo, so what do you do? How do you protect your energy? You put crystals up. I don't have to do that shit. I've done this shit in my mind to where it's like, that's not my memory. That's not my memory. No matter how much I think about the shit, no matter how much I try to put myself in a scenario, I can never be in that shit. Not the scenario I'm hearing about. And then now, because that's when it gets to the tricky waters, but now you say, well, what if I was in that situation? And then you can internalize that and put yourself in that situation. I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit. When you're telling me a story, when you're venting, when you're trying to get the therapeutic healing out of this shit, I let that shit rock because I understand the time now. That's not my time. That experience you had was not my time. That was on your time, not my time. You see what I'm saying? You see how this all ties back in? Time is deeper than what people think it is. It's not just about the clocks and shit. So it's like, that's why I don't mind talking to people about, you know, the shit, you know, that they're going through. Because a lot of people are stuck in their memories, and I get that. You feel me? But what I do is, like, I shift them to their dream. I shift them to their dreams. I have homegirls and shit. We cool as shit. I got homegirls and shit who, we once talked about like the ex-boyfriends or some shit like that. And I'm like, yo, my type has changed. I don't even like dudes like that no more. You know why? Because you're not in the memory space anymore. You're now in the dream space. So now your type has changed. So these new dudes that you keep trying to figure out the part of, okay, let me fuck with this type that I'm used to, but you can't anymore because now what we have just talked about and what we have experienced in whatever session we have, it's now shifted you. You feel me? My brothers too. It's like, bro, why am I still? Cause bro, you stuck in that time. You stuck in the memory. Shift to the dream. What do you want? Shift to the dream. What do you want? Like I got brothers that would say, yo, cause black women, they gonna set you up. They don't do that shit to me. I wouldn't let that shit happen to me, bro. I'm not denying your experience, but I'm not taking that shit on. I'm not taking that shit on. That's your fucking memory. You had the experience. You spent the time with that shit. I didn't spend the time with what you're telling me about. I spent time with something else. You feel me? So when I say, I got the positive experience with the sisters, I got a positive experience with black women, it's because that's my time. I get it that you want to say, oh, yo, y'all just hyping them up, trying to, be simps. I don't be simping. I'm expressing my experience, my time that I've spent with black women, the time that I've had with black women, the time that I choose to value with black women. You choose to put value on the memories that you don't like. I choose to put value on the dreams that I can have and the memories that I do like. So then when I walk in my present moment, guess what kind of black women show up in my space? Ding, 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 ding. See, when you learn how to control time, you learn how to control reality. When you learn how to control reality, you realize, oh, I have the power to do all of this shit. Yes, 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 you do. You don't have to wait for the permission of anything to align in your life. You just have to understand time. And you have to understand how the element of thought really works. When you can understand that and you can master that shit, you can control time. It can be as great as it can be as great as, becoming an entrepreneur or, becoming that millionaire that you want to become or whatever the case may be. Or it could be as simple as, I just got to make it to this appointment on time. You have the power to do that shit when you understand time. Stop worrying about time. Stop worrying about time and know that you can control it. Because you can control the experience that you're having with it, depending on which way your mind is going to go. You dig what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? Like, this is one of those, quote unquote, out of the world Jones and shit. But you can't deny it. You can't deny because you've experienced it. But, when you listen to people vent, you feel me? Don't get mad at your friends who want to vent and shit. Just realize, stop trying to internalize the shit. You feel me? I had a friend who was real cool. She'll always tell me about how whenever somebody tells her something, she takes it on. That's your fault. Don't take on my shit. You feel me? I told her a story of something that happened to me when I was 17 years old. It was a kind of a traumatic experience. She tried, why? How does it affect you? Now I understand why I will always look at people crazy, like, how does it affect you? Because I understand what they're doing now. You feel what I'm saying? They be like, well, that was some fucked up shit, yo, and it was bad that it happened to you. I'm sorry, but it didn't happen to me. I can't, in no way, shape, or form can I make it happen to me. I can't go back to the time, the date, and all of that shit that you experienced that shit and make it happen to me no matter what I do. And I'm not even going to try to do that shit in my mind. See, the thing about empathy and people trying to they're I have to understand you. Understand the motherfucker. You don't have to internalize it. You have to understand what they're feeling. Listen to what they're talking about. Don't go back in time and create that shit in your mind. And that was something that I learned with studying, quote unquote, the 5D shit. We be thinking 5D is you're going to see crystals and geysers and all of that other crazy shit. No, 5D is simple. 5D is when you transcend to a point where you can see, the 12 laws of the universe. Now I know where they're at, when they're at play, how they're at play, what I need to do to maneuver and create certain things. That's what it is. You feel me? There's other things that go into it. Time is the one that I'm just choosing to talk about right now. But yeah, that's the reality of it. You can control and dictate time by understanding your feelings. This is why I'm big on mastering your fucking chakras. You feel me? Master your fucking chakras. Learn how to control your feelings. When you learn how to control your feelings, you'll have fun with time. You always have fun times. Good times. You feel me? Hanging in the child line. Good times. But on some real shit though. I just this is a good, time stands still when you are unaware. Time stands still when you don't know things. Time takes a long time because you're having a negative experience with it. Time speeds up when you're having a positive experience with it. You dig what I'm saying? But then, like I said, you can have the dualities of, You know, do I operate from the perspective of memories all the time? Do I operate from the perspective of dreams? But do I ever step back into the present moment? Always remember that you got to step back into the present moment. You know, if you were quote unquote, you call yourself a healer, whatever the case may be, yeah, I listen to people, people come to me for this, that, and the third. How do you transmute that shit? How do you keep from taking it on? You feel me? I was talking to one of my homies and she was like, who do you go to when you need? I don't got to go to anybody. I don't have to go to anybody. I'm a healer's healer. You feel me? I'm a healer's healer. Y'all got to come to me because hopefully y'all ain't going to come to me no more because now y'all know how to deal with the shit. Now y'all know how to deflect the shit. But you feel me? I got to understand the memories. I got to understand how to channel that shit. Like, I no longer, I don't dwell on my memories. I use them, but I don't let them infuse my life. I don't use my soul's willpower to let my memories stay alive. I do it to make my dreams come to life. You feel me? Like children do. You feel me? I don't like a lot of motherfuckers who, they say the youth is wasted. This is why the youth is wasted on the young. Because the young don't know what the youth is, what youth really is. Old age is when you have more memories than you have dreams. Youth is when you have more dreams than you have memories. Because the memories are going to be what hinders you depending on how you feel them, how you use them. This like life is simple, y'all. Life is really simple to actually live and experience, man. You when you just realize that and you stop trying to be so stringent with the shit, you can have a lot of fun with it. You feel me? You got a lot of fun. You can dictate a lot of things you do. One thing you got to stop doing is internalizing other motherfuckers' memories. Because you'll never experience their shit. Whether that be your parents, your siblings, whatever the case may be. That's their experience. No matter how much they talk to you, no matter how much they want you to understand and feel it, you can do all of that shit, but you can't take it on. So stop trying. Because now you create a whole different scenario that can never exist in this lifetime. It can never exist for you in this lifetime. Ever. Think about that shit. If you got that significant other that y'all relating, it's how trauma bonds fuck y'all up. That's why I just dropped that episode on a euphoric bond. That's why you need to shift to euphoric bonds, because now you can create the time. Now you can create the right time you need. I swear this should be divine alignment, bro. This be on divine timing, bro. I'm telling you, I'll be manipulating time, bro. It's like the Prince of Persia. Give me my knife. You feel me? But yeah, take that, man. Like, take that shit, bro, and see what time really is. See what time really is. Time is when, I'm going to say it one more time. Time is when you're able to manipulate the 12 laws of the universe that are vibration, action, and rhythm. Utilize those. But then understand the elements, the 7 elements, especially the 7th element, which is the element of thought, and its divergence, the split between thought, which is memory, and dream. You feel me? And shift your reality more so to your dreams and what you want to bring into reality, and let your willpower bring that into reality. And you can stop time, or you can control time and let time move how you want to. Time is going to go extra slow for you when you stay in your dream and when you stay in your memory state. You feel me? People be like, yo, how did you heal? How did you get it? Like, when I was in a breakup, when I was dealing with that breakup, or whatever the case may be, it took me a long time because I stayed in the memory. I didn't go into, we keep talking about all of the shit. Like, I always tell people, they'll say, I just want to heal. Well, what are you going to do when you are healed? Because a lot of us get stuck in this healing phase that we don't stop healing. What are you healing at that point? Like, seriously, what are you healing? What are you healing when it's already been healed? But you just haven't not acknowledged that it's healed. You feel me? Imagine this. You feel me? Because, we talk about emotions somehow and all that shit like it's different. No, there's a synergy between the mind, body, and soul. They're all basically one and the same. From the one come the all, therefore the all is the one. So if we break a bone, right, are we going to continue to wear the cast even after the bone is healed? No. What do? We take the cast off and then we start to work the arm out again, or the leg, or whatever the case may be, so the musculature can restore, right? Why the fuck don't we do that shit emotionally? We don't take the cast, I'm still healing, because you're stuck in the memory. You're stuck in the memory loop. You feel me? Just imagine this. You broke your arm when you're 7 and you still got a cast on when you're 22. You look at a motherfucker like the stupid, right? Now, I'm not saying because emotional and mental traumas and shit are a lot deeper, but you can be healed. You can be healed. We keep getting convinced that healing is an ongoing process. Yes, by definition, because the word has ing on it. It shows you that it keeps going. But you can become healed. You can become healed. Like, you don't have to sit there and just dwell on a memory of when you got hurt. And that's where a lot of motherfuckers are fucking up. They have been healed a long time ago, but they keep dwelling on the memory of what got them hurt. You feel me? Because of time. How much time is it going to, how much time you want it to take? How much time do you seriously want it to take? Because time is an illusion that you control. Should you know how to fucking control it. And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes merch and get your merchandise right now. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up there for real. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. We need to understand time from a deeper aspect, from the real aspect in which it is. It's an obsolete thing. It's not an illusion. First off, next time you tell a motherfucker that time is an illusion, now you know why time is an illusion. It's like it be getting me, like, motherfuckers they have all the answers but don't have the understanding behind the answer. Like, you feel me? Sometimes, I've heard that shit for years on end. Yo, time is not real. Bitch, it is real. Time is a real thing, but it is an illusion. See, the thing about an illusion is that you control it. And another dope part about illusions is the sixth chakra, the brow chakra, the chakra of light. Guess what? It's blocked by illusions. So when you got to figure out how something is an illusion. You feel me? Because illusions are actually real things. You just can't see them the way you're supposed to see them. So when they say time is an illusion, we internalize that as time is fake. No, time is real, but it's an illusion because you're not seeing it the way it's supposed to be seen. You feel me? So you have to understand what makes time time. What makes time time? It is the vibration, action, and rhythm, universal laws at play. And it is understanding the duality, or understanding the points of memory, moment, and memory, moment, and dream. Well, it's all moments. They're all moments, but moments of the past are memories, moments of the future are dreams, and then you have the moments that are the present moment. And you can control, you're supposed to be able to swing the pendulum according to how you want it to be. And then time develops from that, because when you infuse the feelings within the moments that you're experiencing, you either speed time up or you slow time down. Yeah, a lot goes into time. It's not just a clock. A lot goes into actual conceptualization of what time really is. So understand it, and then learn how to play with it. You feel what I'm saying? Understand and learn how to play with it. That's why I tell people, make sure you understand your feelings. Control your feelings. Things that trigger you to be angry, things that trigger you to be happy, things that, like, learn those. Learn the things about yourself that do that. Because now you can control time. That's how you're going to control time. When you know how to trigger yourself into good feelings, you can learn how to speed time up. A lot of us know how to trigger ourselves into bad feelings. We can listen to a song that makes us think about a heartbreak, and shit just slows down. And then we just start wasting time and shit. Like, you feel me? How many of us are really conscious enough and really powerful enough to control and turn on and trigger ourselves to have a good feeling? It's hard as fuck, right? Because you don't have much practice with it. You feel me? Goes back to that episode, just the very episode before this one, Euphoric Bonds. Check it out. Check it out. This shit goes hand in hand. I didn't even know it was going to be like this, tied in like this. Then coming off of the 12 Laws episode, like, I guess this is the theme for this little series thing. I don't know. But anywho, learn how, like, master time, y'all. Master time for real. Clocks are real. You feel me? All that shit is real. But it's how you choose to engage with the time. It's how you choose to engage with the moments. You feel me? With the moments. And then, lastly, stop putting the age on yourself. When they ask you how old you are, how old are you? I'm 42 and I feel old. All right. Because your experiences, like, what are your experiences? All my experiences is about making me feel young and vibrant. You feel me? And I'm still at the position where it's like, I still have a lot more dreams than I have memories. You feel me? Just like children do. Because now I give myself things to dream about. That's another part of the power to the shit. You don't have a preset amount of, okay, I'm born with 100 dreams and 0 memories. And then it's going to start to change to the point where it's 50 dreams, 50 memories. And then after that, it eventually gets to where it's 100 memories and no dreams. No. You can continually create the dreams as long as you want to. You can continually create the memories, but it's all in what moment you choose to stay in. And how long you choose to stay in that moment with the feelings that you're in. You feel what I'm saying? With the feelings that you're in. Like, you ever notice how, like, when you work, let's imagine this. I knew women who would complain about going to the gym, you know, but dance for fucking 3 hours straight in the club. How? They're manipulating time. They're manipulating their experience with time. So much so that it even affects and impacts their physical body to where they don't feel the same pains. Yeah, you'll feel it the next day and shit. You know, the knees started cramping and all of that shit. It feels like an actual workout and recovery. But in a moment, you're not even thinking about a workout. Because your moment with that, the time you're spending with this experience is different. Your mentality is different. You're operating from a perspective of it being a dream as opposed to it being a memory. You feel me? Just the different connotations with them. You're going to operate from the past. You're going to operate from the future. You know? And then you just got to sit in the moment with the present and you know, let shit develop. But yeah. Shout out to T for that, yo. You recommended this one. This was a good one. You know, if you're listening, you know, respect for that. Yeah. Shit, I'm just sitting here thinking about that shit, bro. That's some real interesting shit. Like, learning how to access that shit and master it, you know. Like, go back and just sit up, think about the moments when you manipulated time without even knowing you was manipulating it. Specific. That's why I use those examples about, you know, beating the clock on, you know, with your maps and all of that shit, and how you maneuver through traffic and all these things, and how you did that. And you know, you was excited, like, yo, everything aligned for me. Or did you align everything for yourself? That's the plot twist. Because, you know, as a universe, God, Allah, Jehovah, Yeshua, Judas, Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, all of them, as we're tied into those things, we are extensions of them. From the one come the all, therefore the all is the one. So whatever it is we believe in, you know, we kind of have those same energetic powers here on this earth. So did the universe align, or did we align the universe, or both? That's just dope. That shit dope as fuck. So pay attention to that shit, yo. Pay attention to the shit that you have done, that you have manipulated time and didn't know you were manipulating time. You dig what I'm saying? That you didn't know you were manipulating time, but you constantly did something. Like, you knew, okay, I got this webinar that I got to attend at 8 o'clock, you know, but I got to clean up real quick. Damn, it's 7:15. Shit, can I get everything done? Yep, I'm going to get everything done. I'm just going to start doing it. You watch everything, you finish with time to spare. You feel me? You got to make it to the airport. You know, you got to be there before an hour hits and shit like that. You know, now don't get it. Now, understand it has to be within realistic reasons too. Don't think you're just going to be manipulating time unrealistically. No. You know, you got a flight in an hour. Don't leave 15 minutes thinking you're going to do no shit like that. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. But you feel me? Certain things, dead ass serious, bro. Within a logical reality, and you using the right moments, and you having that, you can manipulate time. You manipulate it every single day and don't even know it. But the reason why a lot of us don't know that we're manipulating time, because we manipulate time to slow down. We don't. Well, no. Let me say that a different way. We manipulate time to speed up far more than we manipulate time to slow down. You feel me? Now, time slowing down is not the same as the time dragging on. You dig what I'm saying? I don't want that to be confused as the same thing. Like, time dragging on is not the same as time slowing down. You feel me? We just got so used to being in a position where we're manipulating time in a state that we make it drag on, as opposed to making it slow down in our favor. Or, you know, when we make it speed up, when we make it speed up, we don't have it as fulfilling as would be. It just went by fast. You dig what I'm saying? It wasn't much substance within the shit. So pay attention to that. You manipulate time every single day with your mentality, with your thoughts, and with your actions. With your vibration, with your actions and your rhythms, you manipulate time. How well are you going to start playing with time now? You feel me? How conscious are you going to be of how much power you have with time and what you can actually do with it? You know, changes your reality, yo. It's shit about to be lit. Shit about to be lit. Like, seriously, yo. Just think about all the time. Just take this moment, go into a dark room, get you a piece of paper, you know, and write out all the moments when you can realize that you manipulated time when things have happened. And then start to set those intentions going forward. Like, yo, you know, practice with it. Like I said, practice with something simple, something subtle, and how you manipulated time. So it's like subtle things that you can manipulate time with. Don't start with anything grandiose. Trust me, because it's work. Trust me, it's work. It's a lot of work that has to go into it. When I talk about, you know, being able to retire at 28, when I started that at 26, I put in a lot of fucking work. That 2 years of time had a lot of experience in that bitch. A lot of fucking experience in that bitch. I went from a regular valet attendant to an account manager in a year and a half. I wrote 2 books. I motherfucking created a course. I created my vegan course on that one. I learned how to trade. I learned how to invest. I started looking at, like, there was a lot of shit that went into it. I didn't just say 2 years later, okay, I'm done. No. I put experience and moments in that time dictated and predicated upon willing my dreams into reality. So on a paper, on the outside, it's like, yo, bro, that was only 2 years. It was 2 fucking years. It was a lot done in that 2 year time frame. You dig what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. You know, you can control and manipulate time, but do that shit within reason. If you're not, like, do it in processes. Start building up to the point where you can start manipulating. You'll start to see a lot of shit. You start to see yourself do and accomplish a lot of things. But you have to change your perception of time by changing which thought, which direction of thought or deviation of thought you're going to operate from. All right. So as always, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_seen_ and check out my website at iamjustseen.com to get all things just seen. Kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And as far as the babies go, we know that the babies operate through no time, no conceptualization of time, but we know that they start off, at this point, we understand that they're starting off now from the perspective of dreams. They don't really develop memories. Do not pour the memories into your children that they will never be able to experience. You know that they can't experience your memories. So give them your memories as your experience, but don't try to put that on them, because what that now does is that creates the level of fear within them, because they are unable to understand your experience. No. They can understand it. They can listen to it, but they are unable to experience or recreate your exact experience, the moment you had with that experience. They can't do it. So don't hit them with that, I've been where you were, I done what you done, and it's because then you're going to feel stupid. You're going to feel real stupid when they achieve what you couldn't do with the same information that you gave them. Will you be able to, as a parent, look them and be appreciative, as opposed to looking at them and say, oh, you don't know everything. You don't think you did everything. Like, I got family right now. I got religious homies, religious family members who are telling me, well, I was where you was before. I had my moment. No, you didn't have your moment like mine. You had your moment when you had your issue with the religion, but you damn sure didn't dive into it the way that I did. I know you didn't, but I'm gonna leave it at that. You feel what I'm saying? I don't go into it that with them, because they're trying to think, they think that the memory that they're trying to give me, I'm having that same experience with them. It's not. Trust me, it's not. Because then when I start talking to them, they're like, I didn't know you knew it so well. Go figure. It's not that I'm angry or something that made me leave it. It's the fact that I actually went into it and I just didn't agree with it anymore. You know, you can do that. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say, don't allow your experience with something, the memory that you have with your experience with something, don't try to dictate that and put that on your child, because that's going to stifle them. And it's going to piss you off. Trust me. I'm experiencing this shit right now with the elder generation of my lineage, my family. It's going to piss you off when they go farther beyond than what you did when it made you stop. You feel me? Only one of my elders ever respected and said, you know what? I'll admit I can't go where your mind goes. And I'm not going to try. Everybody else is just like, I've been there. I went there. And this, that, and the third. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And I know they didn't, because when we start talking about this shit, it's like, yo, how did y'all not learn this yet? Y'all keep telling me y'all know it better than me, but then I know it better than y'all, and y'all mad. You feel me? And I don't want that for the children that you have to bring up, because you don't know what's best for their experience, what time that they're going to have. You feel me? You can try, but you're not. So when you give them their game, when you give them the nuggets that you've experienced, you cannot give it to them under the premise that I did it so you don't have to do it. No, they're still going to have to do whatever it is they're going to have to do. They need to understand your experience. They need to understand your memory and your experience separate from their life, because it's not going to be the same. And that could fuck up their time in this physical plane. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Let your children remain childlike. Teach them how to continually to remain childlike. When they experience things, when they're developing their memories, make sure they're developing their own memories and not internalizing yours without the experience that you had. It's going to fuck them up. And then they're going to resent you when they find out that you just could not cut it enough to actually go through the experience to have a successful reality out of that shit. And now you done hindered them for all of their life, and they could have achieved the shit. You feel me? For what? So keep that in mind. And also, don't internalize other people's memories as your own. That's their experience. You can't experience that shit. No matter how much you try, you will never experience what they experienced. So don't internalize the shit. You feel me? Listen to them, do that. So as always, kiss your babies. Make sure they eat the vegetables, and I'll see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.